right, Carter. So let's start off with, Carter, you're from Secret Network and Shade Protocol. So let's ask you real quick, why privacy?
Yeah, so why privacy? It's such an important question. Blockchain started off and transparency was kind of the default. It was the expectation, it was kind of lauded as a feature. But privacy is a human right. And what we like to say at Secret Network is privacy is the key to unlocking the full value of a decentralized future. Right now in Web3, there is less privacy than there is in traditional legacy systems. Every single transaction is completely transparent. All the different applications you interact with, all of that metadata is sitting on chain. And so Secret Network is extremely uniquely positioned because we're bringing privacy to applications. And at the end of the day, I believe in a world where Web3, where we have the choice. We have the choice, the consent, and the freedom as builders and as users to know what we're doing with our data. And what you'll find in the world of privacy is that privacy is extremely valuable. It's not just retail, everyday end users like you guys in the audience. It's also institutions that care about their privacy. We're actually seeing more and more, like in Europe, GDPR, we're seeing that data privacy is becoming a very important topic. And at the end of the day, I firmly believe that privacy is also utility. So why privacy? Because we need it.
Good answer. Carter, so there's a lot of talk about large centralized companies entering into crypto and DeFi and even the metaverse, such as Facebook rebranding into Meta. What do you see the role of privacy being in crypto and in the metaverse?
Yeah, so I think the ultimate end state for like metaverse, DeFi, and all these different applications that are emerging is that you have to have both decentralization and privacy. They go hand in hand. If you just have decentralization without privacy, then you're missing a key feature that is just critical to everything that we do. So I welcome all the different entities that want to build on blockchain. I hope they do. But in order to make a better Web3, in order to make a better version of the internet, a better set of financial applications, and just like a beautiful web experience, you have to have privacy and decentralization.
I agree. So tell us more about Secret Network and how does it differentiate from other chains and what makes it special?
Yeah, it's a great question. So for those of you that don't know, Secret Network is a Cosmos-based chain. It's a layer 1. And the dream of Secret Network was super simple. Have data privacy by default attached to your architecture. So Secret Network is differentiated because as programmers, you get granular control over what is and isn't encrypted. And this allows very unique use cases that no other blockchain can do right now. Privacy-preserving smart contracts have been live for over a year. There's no other network that can say that. In my opinion, Secret Network's kind of been in stealth mode. We have an organic developer community emerging with lots of amazing and passionate users about the applications that are being built. And so we like to say that Secret Network is the data privacy platform of Web3. And I think we're super differentiated, not just from the privacy side, but also the composability side, the interoperability side. We have bridges to Monero, Ethereum, BSC. We're IBC enabled. So one day in the near future, and it's already happening, more and more tokens are going to be bridging to Secret Network, taking advantage of the privacy-preserving properties of Secret Network. Yep.
That's awesome. Interoperability and bridges is key.
Yep.
I also agree with that the future of finance and DeFi is multi-chain. So Carter, tell us more about what you guys are building. Carter, tell us more about what you guys are building at Shade Protocol and what you guys are doing with privacy stablecoins.
Yeah, so Shade Protocol it's been a journey, and we needed Secret Network as a tech step to be able to build Shade Protocol. So Shade Protocol is an array of connected privacy-preserving applications. And the first application that we're launching is Silk. Silk is a privacy-preserving stablecoin pegged to a basket of global currencies and commodities. It uses the Terra Luna algorithmic model to maintain its peg. And the beautiful part about Silk as a stable coin on Secret Network is that it has privacy. And a really important part about Secret Network is it straddles the middle ground between the Ethereums of the world, which are totally transparent, and the Moneros, which is our complete black box. So Secret Network has something called viewing key / viewing permit architecture, where you can decrypt your own transactions locally, so you can be auditable and compliant. While when you're on chain, you have that privacy. And so Silk as a stablecoin has a path to protecting users' privacy when they interact with merchants, when they interact with applications, but simultaneously having that path to auditability and compliance. So Silk is the first DeFi primitive that's being launched with Shade Protocol. We're also launching privacy-preserving synthetic assets using a model that's never been done before. So that's a little bit about Shade Protocol. DeFi without privacy has some really big issues. One I really like to talk about is front running. Anytime you're on a transparent blockchain and you interact with the DEX, people can parse through the entire mempool, see your incoming transaction, insert a transaction in front of it, and you as an end user essentially lose money without ever knowing about it. It's $1 billion plus problem. You thought single chain MEV was bad, wait till multi-chain MEV starts to emerge, right? Secret Network, front running is completely irrelevant out of the gates. There's no front running on Secret Network. There are people that, like on transparent blockchains, are devoting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours to trying to solve the front running problem. But because their architecture was never designed to have privacy by default, they're running into significant problems with solving the front running problem. On Secret Network, all of our DeFi applications, we don't have a problem with that, right? And any sort of like minting application with NFTs, like there's advantages to having that data privacy. So that was a little side rant, but.
So is it possible that we could see Silk being bridged to other chains and being used on other protocols?
Absolutely. So with that composability, with that interoperability from all those other bridges, we see Silk becoming a stable coin that's not just de facto to Secret Network and all the applications here, but also attached to hopefully like the Osmosis of the world, the Gravity DEX, the Terra Lunas, the Junos of the world. Polkadot is we have plans for Polkadot with Shade Protocol and Silk, so lots of interesting potential partnerships there. It's a little alpha leak right there. But yes, we need as many well-designed stablecoins in this space as possible. And I think Silk being pegged to a basket of global currencies is a very unique position. I am slightly concerned that the flagship product of DeFi is the US dollar, right? We have Web3, we have the opportunity to create so many new, unique primitives, right? And so Silk is uniquely positioned to be immune to any given sovereign currency risk. We'll see how this looks like on the regulatory front. I think there's going to be a lot of problems with US dollar stablecoin derivatives over time, but we'll see how that side of things plays out.
Awesome. So you mentioned some similarities to Terra and Luna. I would like to know more about, and I'm sure the audience as well, with the similarities to Terra and Luna, how does the value capture work with Silk and Shade? Silk is the stablecoin, Shade is the stabilizer. How would you say the value capture differs or maybe improves upon Terra's model?
Sure, that's a phenomenally pointed question. So thank you for that question. So there's two components we added to the Terra Luna model. First off is that we saw the Terra Luna treasury had like over $1 billion, and it wasn't helping maintain the peg. It was a community pool. Cosmos SDK was never like really tweaked to be designed to have the community pool be like a hyperactive player. But because we're on the application layer of Secret Network, the treasury for Shade Protocol directly helps back the peg for Silk. So that's one difference. Second is Shade staking. Staking collateral for Shade Protocol gets deposited into a contract that helps arbitrage any disparities between the price of Silk on a secondary market and the target peg price. So there's two additional stability mechanisms that are added to Shade Protocol compared to Terra Luna. The other unique value capture decision we're making is every time we launch a new DeFi primitive, there's not going to be a new application token. I think we're going to look back on blockchain and be like, wow, there was like hundreds of different tokens for every single application. That's confusing for end users. It dilutes value capture. So if you can launch a cohesive DeFi like set of applications that all run under the same tokens, all push value to the same DAO, same treasury, then you're unlocking a huge amount of value for the token holders. So we're going to be launching synthetics stablecoin. We're also having a staking derivative product that's going to be out of the gates on day one. That's an alpha leak, by the way, for Shade Protocol. There will be Shade staking derivatives like right out of the gate. So that's 3 DeFi primitives. None of them with unique tokens. All of them feed the Shade Protocol DAO. So we're going to continue to launch other DeFi primitives like bonds. We love what Olympus DAO is doing with protocol-owned liquidity. Protocol-owned liquidity is definitely the future. So stay tuned on that front. Lots of really interesting features coming. Hopefully that's enough of a little bit of a differentiation.
Awesome. So, what were the challenges? With your experience being at Secret Network, what would you say are the challenges of making technology and blockchains private? We see Monero, and that was one of the people call it like maybe a private Bitcoin, but there were no smart contracts. Secret has smart contracts. What would you say is the challenge of making technologies and blockchains private?
Developers. No, it truly is. The part I love about Secret Network is when developers discover the tech stack and they fall down the rabbit hole, they don't climb out. We don't lose developers in our ecosystem because people get this is an unbelievably unique tech stack and you can build things here on Secret Network you can't build anywhere else. But the barrier of entry to learning it, there is a little bit of an uphill battle. Rust developers are extremely difficult to find. So if you're anyone out there and you want a crazy amount of opportunities, learn some basic Rust, come check out Secret Network. There is a home for you. There's so many cool things you can build and we want to get you plugged in. So developers is one. Second one, I think, is the value of the privacy narrative, right? We've seen since 2017, different narratives emerge with like ICOs, and then now we have like NFTs and DAOs emerging. And I think the privacy narrative is super strong and it's just starting to emerge. It's been lurking in the background. And so I think awareness surrounding the value of privacy is something we've been constantly working on, and we're seeing more and more traction on that front. But it is a challenge, right? Because everyday people are still trying to understand what's the value of privacy. But in the world of financial transactions, with front running, liquidity providing strategies being copied on chain, with people copying trading strategies, watching your money be moved around, Chainalysis has 95% coverage of all volume on blockchain. You are being watched, all of your transactions, 100%. And I think as people realize that there's an alternative that's cheap, fast, scalable, interoperable. Once they realize that option is there and you embrace Secret Network, there's no reason to go back really to other chains, which you can with bridges and all of the wonderful functionality. But yeah, the value of the privacy narrative, we're discovering what that looks like, we're continuing to grow it, and then just pulling in competent, sharp, new developers to build out all of the amazing applications that are only possible here.
Very well said. Where do you see privacy in the future, maybe 5 years from now in the DeFi space or even in general?
Yep.
And beyond?
I have a pretty bold take on this. I think 5 years from now, everyone's gonna look back on the first 5-10 years of blockchain and say, why were we trying to do this as a dichotomy of total transparency? Where was the choice? Where was the granularity over what applications could reveal and couldn't reveal? Like for whatever reason, out of the gates, we said 100% transparency. This is the way, right? But in most things in life, there's a spectrum, right? Like that, and we want to give people the choice over that. So I think hindsight will be 2020. The privacy narrative is going to be unbelievably obvious a couple of years from now. And the key is that it has to be privacy that also has a path to auditability and compliance. The Moneros of the world, there's never going to be a way for that type of protocol to be auditable or compliant. It was never designed to do that. Secret Network, with the viewing key architecture, you're able to decrypt your transactions locally. There's an unbelievable amount of value for that and potential to have KYC products plug in where they have, on-chain privacy, but have their transactions handed off to their tax experts, to their auditors, right? So 5 years from now, my prediction is Secret Network is the Ethereum of privacy smart contracts. We're gonna look back on it and say they were the first. They had first mover advantage. They were building out frameworks, they were building out applications, they were way ahead of the curve. And not only were they first, but what they were building was obvious and simple and beautiful. So
That's powerful. Ethereum of privacy. I like that. So you said, or a little bit earlier, you said there were plans for Polkadot with Secret Network. I'm assuming. Is this something that you guys have been ideating? Is the tech of this being already built out?
this is on the Shade protocol side. So we'll just say there is a distinct amount of interest for Silk being attached to Polkadot in some capacity. And we're talking with the right teams. We're talking with the people that can help make that type of connection happen. So very excited on that front. Huge fan of Polkadot, by the way. I'll give a brief shout out to Polkadot and that ecosystem. I used to be extremely bearish on Polkadot, very pessimistic. But the more I've researched, my macro thesis is that Cosmos and Polkadot are going to be the biggest winners the next couple of years. So you can quote me on that. Huge fans of what they're doing and their developers. So
I agree as well. I'm a big fan of Polkadot and Cosmos. They're both aiming for interoperability, and I think there's a way for both of those layer zeros to work together. So I agree with that. So back to privacy in the future. Do you see privacy being also applied to not just DeFi, but also maybe NFTs, blockchain gaming, GameFi?
yes, 100%. So Tor Bear, head of the Secret Foundation, he has a talk at 10:40 on the other stage. You should 100% go to that stage afterwards. He is leaking. He is like the king of secret NFTs. He has some alpha he's going to be leaking surrounding that. But I'll keep it simple. Privacy adds utility to any vertical that you can think of. So on the NFT side of things, we're seeing something called Stash. It's like OpenSea. It's an NFT marketplace, but you have privacy attached to it, right? So you can choose what image is publicly visible and what stuff is kept private. So for artists, you're able to kind of, you get control over what people see before they buy it. And that's not novel, by the way. You can't do that on any other blockchain right now. You have to have the privacy component attached to that in order to be able to pull that off. So Stash, be sure to look up that app, beautiful application. On the gaming side, I like to talk about, let's say you have two heroes and you want to battle them on chain. If you do it on a transparent blockchain, both players know the strength of each other's characters, right? Because that metadata is just sitting out there to be seen. So someone could back out of the battle before the fight ever happened, right? How do you do gaming on chain? How do you do anything interesting when all the data is publicly visible? And so currently people's solutions are go off chain, right? But the instant you go off chain, you're kind of defeating the purpose of the beauty of decentralization and blockchain technology, right? So with Secret Network, you can have those battles on chain because it's all encrypted. And the transactions are resolved locally with the hardware level encryption. We say secret contracts have encrypted input, state, and output. And essentially the output is revealed at the end of the fight, but the actual attributes of the characters are never revealed on chain. So for gaming, once again, stuff that can only be built on Secret Network right now. Secret Heroes is an app that was made, proof of concept, with NFTs, with heroes battling each other. And I think we're going to see more and more of the gaming vertical emerge. Metaverse is also fascinating, like access controls. How do you do access controls when everything on your chain is transparent? The answer, go off chain, right? So mark my words, the next year and a half, in this next time frame, you're going to see people attach their applications from their blockchain to Secret Network, and they're going to use Secret Network for access controls and credentialing when it comes to metaverse and NFTs. So
That's awesome. I'm actually very excited for privacy being applied to NFTs and blockchain gaming, because then you can have everything on chain, and I agree with that. That's really sick. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing like a metaverse game built on Secret Network, and I don't think that has been built yet, right?
yeah, not really. The metaverses haven't been nothing's really been fully developed on that front. We have a bunch of NFT projects that are just starting to emerge, like Anons, Redacted, Anthea. There's some CryptoPunks, but the privacy preserving version of them. Lots of different cool NFT projects emerging. We'll see when those NFTs projects bridge their metaverse to gaming, bridge it to the virtual property applications of the world. Lots of cool innovation happening. So, and if you're interested in what we're talking about, please come build it. We'll help fund you, help make it happen.
Build on Secret. NFTs, gaming projects, build on Secret. Can someone bridge their NFT to Secret Network?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's a NFT bridge right now from Ethereum to Secret Network, and it's really unique because you can pretty much use Ethereum for your settlement layer, where all the liquidity is to be able to buy and sell the NFT. But then you unlock the unique, what we call secret NFT functionality using Secret Network. So an example I like to give is Anons. It's an NFT project. If you buy the Anon, you get access to a Telegram room. If you trade the NFT, you lose access to the Telegram room. Like really novel, interesting use cases with like privacy. Quentin Tarantino is doing NFTs on Secret Network. I hope you know who Quentin Tarantino is, the famous filmmaker. I think Tor will be talking a lot more about that on his stage at 10:40. So,
with the advent of regulation, Carter, and with what you guys are doing at Shade and Secret Network and privacy, you did say you could plug in KYC. Could that be plugged in on-chain onto Secret Network, making potentially Secret Network and any of its dApps regulation friendly?
100%. So right now we're seeing that there's the workaround that people are trying to do, where they're trying to do permission chains, and then there's privacy on those permission chains, right? But the dream is that you have a KYC platform get built into a permissionless chain that also has on-chain privacy like Secret Network. That's like the best optimal end state for DeFi and any of these applications for these very large institutional investors and institutional players. So I know of a project that's building they're starting to pull together the team to build that type of KYC product into Secret Network. So stay tuned for that. At the end of the day, institutions want to be able to be auditable and compliant, but they need their on-chain data to be private and secure. The real money of the world, the pension funds of the world, they're not going to play ball with DeFi until they have on-chain privacy. For the same reason that retail investors are getting hurt, trading strategies being copied, the front-running issue, all of those things, they're very, very real problem. Very, very real problem. And I've been signaled too that more and more of the DeFi markets are being pushed to OTC because of the lack of on-chain privacy. And at that point, we're not really fully utilizing blockchain to its fullest extent because we're missing something. It's privacy. And Secret Network solves for that. So
awesome. So maybe once you guys go over to Polkadot, there's a potential collaboration between you guys and Kilt, maybe.
Perhaps. Yep. Specifically Shade Protocol kind of leading that. But all of it attached to Secret Network, of course. So
awesome. Okay. That's quite. So go back to NFTs. Let's circle back. How would you say if someone was maybe building file storage, like obviously using decentralized storage layers? I assume privacy could be used there because I mean no one wants all their files to be seen by anyone on chain, right?
There's actually a project called Jackal that is in the process of talking with their team, and they want to build essentially decentralized file storage using Secret Network for the privacy layer and the access control layer. I think Altermail has done a great job of proving that use case. They're doing email communications, and the data itself is living on Secret Network encrypted. So you don't have to trust like a Proton Mail or any sort of like centralized server. You don't have to trust them at all. You can just use a blockchain for that instead, essentially, like as a very convenient replacement. So yeah, I think the data storage side of Secret Network, we're going to see more and more of it emerge. There's some potential scalability issues, and I think like we're exploring what it means to solve that specifically for the data storage vertical.
Awesome. Okay. With Secret Network's privacy and how it can be applied to file storage, do you see other use cases that it can be applied to outside of that for maybe Web3? Is there anything that is off-chain right now that hasn't been brought to blockchain that could be powered up and utilizing Secret Network?
Well, I mean, file storage is like such a massive vertical, right? File storage could be anything. So if something like Jackal, if they build it properly, it could replace something like IPFS. And IPFS is like the standard for blockchain right now with like data storage. So we're also seeing Secret Network with integrations with IPFS. So it's kind of interesting to see integrating with IPFS versus building a replacement for it. Like there's definitely everyone's exploring the possibilities. So
awesome. So
Don't worry, I can chat Silk more if you want.
When shade.
When shade. So airdrops gonna be happening in targeting January right now. Shout out to everyone who's staking Secret, staking Atom, staking Luna. You're eligible for the airdrop if you've been staking since November 7th. And then functionality, we're not going to reveal the launch date of like the functionality for Shade. I've promised all the developers until they look me in the eyes, take their hands off the keyboard and say, all right, let's go, that we were not going to reveal a launch date. But really, really love the Shade protocol team. It's like eight developers at this point. Very strong open source culture surrounding it. And once you get the vision for privacy and DeFi, there's no going back. Like everyone on the team, they get the vision. They get the importance of privacy for synthetic assets and for stablecoins. Like if you use a totally transparent stablecoin and you go and interact with a merchant, they will know every financial transaction you've ever made and your entire wallet balance. That's not sustainable. In order for stablecoins to truly bridge to the real world, you have to have some form of auditable privacy. And the workaround for transparent stablecoins right now is they have a third-party intermediary that handles the stablecoin that then bridges to the real world. And the reason they have to do that is because of the privacy problem. So I think Silk, if done correctly, will be able to essentially cut out a third-party intermediary and will actually have true peer-to-peer transactions. And that was always the original vision for
This
the Bitcoins
man
of the
is
world.
so passionate. Give it up for Carter and Jordan.